Hey guys, it's Jacob Jake's Metal Chat, and I hope you're all well and staying safe, and welcome to a new video series. I've been having this idea for a while, and I've been seeing so many other metal YouTubers do the same thing, filming, not just the bands at festivals, but also what they're doing in between bands. And I thought I'm going to a smaller festival after just doing a big festival. So without further ado, welcome to Jake's Metal Chat Festival Edition, Episode 1, Beermageddon. And what can I tell you about Beermageddon? It's a metal festival that has been going since 2012, and it's run by a man called Jim Beerman. One of the nicest people I have ever met in my life. And if you ever get a chance to meet him, do so. He's an absolute gent. And I've been going to this festival since 2015 because my ex told me about it and asked if I wanted to go. I said yes. And I've been hooked ever since. And where it's being held is called Stokes Prior Sports Club, which is in Stokes Prior, which is near Brom's Grove, which is near Worcester. And I guess in between Worcester and Birmingham, sort of. I could be wrong there. For anyone that is around that area, down below, comment down below. And yeah, I've been going since 2015, excluding that 1 year. We do not talk about that specific thing. And I've just loved it because it just gives you a nice relaxed vibe. You can chill out. You're not just rushing around to see all your favorite bands and everything at the bigger festivals like Bloodstock, Download, Hellfest, Vakin, Alcatraz, Metal Days, Grass Pop. List goes on. And I've been so many times before. I filmed some bands before, but I thought to myself, let's do a video where I'm talking about it and also showing you which bands I have filmed. And I pretty much filmed every single band, little bits and pieces. And I'm going to start off with the Friday for you. I got there on the Thursday, set my tent up. I was camped next to Jim and his daughter and her boyfriend. And up in a nice quiet area, because down the bottom where the main building is, where all the bands play, it tends to get noisy after a while. So I need to get some water in. Yeah, just gets noisy there, and I used to camp there quite a bit. And I thought, no, I'm going to camp up there and have a bit more peace and quiet, so I can get a good, decent night's sleep. So Thursday, we'll get together, do something in the evening, and then, which was the cheesy disco. A lot of people were doing that, and some were just chilling outside, just catching up with people they haven't seen in quite a long while. Because I don't normally see a lot of these guys until I go to this festival, or I might see them at the odd gig here and there. So to start off with the bands that played Friday, none of the bands didn't start until the evening, so let's get to it. First up, on the Friday, they start at 6. They blend punk and metal very well together. They've been friends of mine since I met them in 2017, I believe. I first saw them at Beermageddon, and it is Face Up. Really great band. Great bunch of people. Just so much energy on stage. If you're into metal and punk and it's mixed together, you're going to like Face Up. Absolutely fantastic band in my eyes. This band, I'm not a fan of deathcore, really. They had a great stage presence, but in terms of the genre, I'm not too fussed about. They start at 10 minutes past 7, and this is Dead Flesh. For anyone who is a fan of, bands like Whitechapel, Suicide Silence, and all those other bands I don't particularly listen to. But for anyone who are fans of those bands and a fan of deathcore, there's a band for you. All the bands will be in the description below, so you can have a look for yourselves. And then there was a Fancy Dress just after that. And this has happened ever since I've gone. because it's been at this venue of Stokes Prior since 2014, and I'm pretty sure they've been doing the fancy dress ever since then. Then at 8:30, we had groove metalers Gutlocker, who I've seen before at this festival, and I'm pretty sure I've seen them here in Bristol and maybe somewhere else. I go to a lot of gigs, so sometimes I blur certain gigs and festivals together, but these guys were really cool. And just, again, a lot of energy live. And if you are a fan of groove metal, then there's the band for you. And then to end the Friday, there was only 4 bands on the Friday. And the best way I can describe this band is a mix of Meshuggah and Soul of a New Machine era Fear Factory. And this is Krysthla. And they were just nuts. Just the sheer amount of energy coming from this band, and just the crowd going nuts for them. And and when I see like my favorite bands, primarily death, thrash, black, doom, and folk, they draw in the crowd, and it's amazing. And these guys just done that. And then by the end of it, there was a DJ night until about 1 o'clock, I think. I think it's always 1 o'clock it ends, but that's the Friday. And I hope you enjoy those bunch of bands. And then we'll get to the Saturday. I hope you enjoyed that, because I got a lot more to talk about here for the Saturday. And on that day at 1 o'clock, there was a hand fasting for 2 of the most fantastic people there. Everyone there's fantastic. These 2 are just wholesome, genuine people. And this was performed by Jim Bierman, the hand fasting. And you are familiar with them. You know how beautiful they are. And to start off the music at 2 o'clock is a band called Concussion. Not heard of them before. They were heavy. I'm not sure what to describe them as. So if you like I said, I'm going to have all the bands down there. So if you are curious yourself to know what these guys sound like, I want to say they might mix like metalcore and hardcore and other stuff together, and they just made their own sound out of that. But if anyone interested, down below, same with all the other bands. And here are two of my favorite death metal bands within the genre of death metal. And the first one at 10 minutes past 3 is Pemphigoid, 3-piece death metal, British death metal with that mix of HM2, absolutely disgusting death metal, 3 guys, like I said. And what you're going to see is just absolutely brutal, disgusting stuff. Same with the next band that started at 20 past 4. Been going since 1991. Only have 1 album out to date. Again, all down below, so you can check them out yourselves. And if you know this band, they don't need no introduction. But for anyone that doesn't, this is Absolution, which was formed by the original member, the original bass player of Benediction, Paul Adams. After leaving Benediction, he formed this band, and they only released demos and EPs, and then released their first album in 2018. What can I say about them? Old school death metal at its finest. No more need to be said. And if you're into your old school death metal more than your tech death, your brutal death, your slam death, this is the one for you. Next up, a black metal band starting at 5:30 is Tableau Mort, 4-piece black metal. No drummer, and they use the drum machine live, but I still enjoyed what I watched. And you can't really go wrong with black metal. And the best way I can describe them, they wear like, I'm trying to, the robes that you would see like bands like Cult of Fire and Badishka wear, those sort of robes. And it was just really, really cool to watch these guys live and like just, throat's a bit sore. And yeah, really great black metal. And if you've seen these guys before, comment down below where you've seen them. I'm fairly sure I've seen them before in Cardiff, or I'm mixing them up with another band. But I think they might have played the same night as the other band that I'm thinking of. But again, all down below to check them out. On to the last 3 bands, and the first one out of that is one that started at 5 minutes to 7, so 6:55, is Hands of Attrition. I don't know how to describe their sound again. I think it's like groove metalcore / groove metal, but I'll let you be the judge of that when you check them out for yourselves. But like I said, I don't really listen to a lot of metalcore or deathcore, not as much slam, brutal death, or tech death as much as I used to, because I'm more into my old school death metal, more into my like really intense thrash and black metal, doom and folk metal. But for any fans of that sort of stuff, check out Hands of Attrition. And I know I haven't seen these guys before, or I'm just telling fibs, and I have seen them before. The next band after that started at 5 minutes past 8. Now, I'm the best way I think I can describe these guys, and if you indulge me, yeah, this is Ghosts of Atlantis. And how they describe themselves on their Facebook is dark symphonic metal. And dark it is. It's quite just dark. It's symphonic. Yeah, if you're into your symphonic metal, then there's a band for you, but it's quite dark as the vocalist's vocals are more on the harsher side. Because mostly when I hear symphonic folk metal bands, symphonic metal band, should I say, just symphonic metal, is all just clean vocals. And then I hear symphonic death metal bands or folk metal bands where they will have the harsher vocals as well as the cleans, and these guys just have the harsher stuff. And again, if you're a fan, down below. And as for the headliner at 9:30, and it was the only European headliner Jim could get for this year, and he had them before the year in 2022, and I've loved them ever since. They are a German thrash metal band, and I enjoyed them the first time around, and I enjoyed them again this time around. And they are Godslave. Fantastic thrash, German thrash. I love my German thrash. Creator, Destruction, Sodom, Tankard. The list goes on. And that's the bands for this Saturday. And more about Godslave. Fantastic stage presence. So for fans of, if you're fans of all these different genres, then you're going to like all the bands. Or if you're just fans of black, death, and thrash, then Pemphigoid, Absolution, Tableau Mort, and Godslave. They're for you. So that's the Saturday, and then to end this video will be the Sunday.
Thank you.
that was the Saturday's bands. Now on to Sunday's bands, and to start off was a group photo at 1 o'clock, which is usually what they do on the Sunday. It's a tradition. They usually take a picture of all of us in front of Stoke Prior Football Club, but we couldn't this time, so we had to face it towards tents, gazebos, and camper vans, and a couple of the stalls, because that was the only space that the photographer could get. But we didn't mind the change. We just loved taking that photo as one big family. Now, to start off the bands at 2 o'clock was a thrash death metal band called Ashborn. And I know I've seen these guys somewhere before. I can't think where it might. Well, I know I've seen them here before. I know I've seen them at Beermageddon. I think I've seen them at other gigs before, and I'm pretty sure they play and some other festivals that I've gone to as well. But the one I remember them the most from is Beermageddon. And yeah, they're just really cool. If you like your thrash and death, Ashborn. And of course, I can name a lot more thrash death metal bands, death thrash bands for you all for when I do more band recommendations. Next one, I not heard of these guys. Not sure which bands they remind me of too much, but I think they got a bit of that groove into them, and that's Chaplain. Chaplain. So CHAPLAIN. These guys were really, really cool live. Again, there were some bands I don't normally listen to live, but there's so many different bands for so many different fans of different genres of metal. And they went down a treat for the festival. Next one, these guys I did enjoy and not heard of them before. I've heard the name before. I just never got around to listening to them. And they, so Chaplain was on at 3:15. These guys were on at 25 minutes past 4. You would think by the name they play thrash metal. That is not the case. They are on the brutal death metal side, and that is Thrashatouille, who class himself as the world's first chef metal band. Now, when someone does like names like that, I think like Party Cannon and Party Cannon's like the best way to describe these guys. I like that, just fun party type of brutal death. And like I said, I don't really listen to too much brutal death as I used to, but these guys were a lot of fun, and I highly recommend them to anyone who's into brutal death. Next one is my mate's band. They start at 10 to 6. That's 5:50. Seen them a bunch of times before. Someone was a 2-piece. They're from Wales. And I've seen them as a 3-piece for a little bit longer now. And that's Incursion. And I had Johnny, he's the vocalist and guitarist of the band, on my metal chat. Really nice guy. Really cool band live. And they do one thing, if you're familiar with the TV series Bottom, and I think it was on one of the live shows, Eddie said he had the last packet of chocolate hobnobs. Yeah, basically you get given chocolate hobnobs, and then you gotta go get those chocolate hobnobs from those guys. But the music's heavy, and it just makes it just so much fun. I love those guys, great guys. Well done at Beermageddon, and to all the other bands that played there as well. This band I have seen before. They start at 7 o'clock. They are thrash metal, and I mean thrash metal. And the style of thrash I got from them was more on the German side. They class themselves as thrash, death, and black metal. They are obviously here from the UK. There's so many bands on this list from the UK. These guys specifically are from Stoke-on-Trent. And this is Hellfekted. And again, best way of describing would be like bands like Creator and bits of Sodom in there, and any other thrash metal bands that I can think of right now. Those guys are pretty much influenced by them. Maybe a little bit of the Japanese Sabbat, definitely Sabbat. So 3 bands: Sabbat, Sodom, and Creator. Just a fantastic band, absolutely a great thrash metal. And yeah, if you're into those 3 bands and you're into thrash metal in general, then Hellfekted is for you. And the next band, this band, along with Pemphigoid and Absolution, these were 3 bands I couldn't play before, either due to you know what, and or family emergencies. And this band, they've been going since 2000. They've been a band for 23 years, or at least split up in 2013, got back in 2014. Classed as heavy thrash metal, so heavy metal and thrash metal, all the way from London, and that's Helgrind. And I know I've seen these guys before. I'm pretty sure they played one Beermageddon before. They just couldn't play last year. And I think they were meant to play the year before and they couldn't do it then. Well, they did play the year before. And absolutely just a solid band live. Get that crowd participation with quite a lot of these bands anyway. And you know, and again, mentioning my 2 favorite death metal bands on the bill, Pemphigoid and Absolution, just great, solid, disgusting sounding death metal. And there's a lot of great solid thrash here, and just overall the festival itself is fantastic. So if you've never been, everything you need to know will be in the description below or somewhere around here. And of course, we will be getting to the last band of this evening, because I just remembered there's something else I need to say. You want to go to this festival, everything will be in the description below, everything you need to know. And also Jim Beerman does a radio show called Top Rock Radio, and another one called Total Rock. And on Top Rock Radio, you can go and request a song by one of your favorite bands. He does it via his Twitch account. Again, all that's going to be in the description below. And just thought I'd get that out. And for the last band, and how he got these guys, I haven't got a clue. None of us have got a clue. But he somehow got him. And you know what? I'm absolutely happy you do, because I haven't seen these guys before this since 2017. And I saw them at Netherlands Death Fest. And it's one of the earliest punk rock bands to come out of the 1970s within the punk scene, the UK punk scene. They don't need no introduction, but I'm going to say them anyway. This is the one and only Discharge. He got Discharge. How he got Discharge? How did he get him? I don't know. But these guys been going since the late 1970s, since about 1977, I'm going to say. Maybe later than that, maybe a bit earlier than 77, maybe 76. I'm going to say somewhere between 1976 and 1978. So just say late 70s. And you know all their songs like State Violence, State Control, Never, Never, Never Again, and of course, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil. You know Discharge. If you know Discharge and you're a punk rock fan, what if you're a punk rock fan and you don't know Discharge? What are you doing? Check them out. Just all down here. If you love your punk, And I mean, you love your punk, you know, intense, in your face, absolutely fantastic stuff like that. You know, like Chaos UK, The Exploited, bands like that. Then Discharge is for you. And you know what? And that's the end of Jake's Metal Chat Festival Edition, Episode 1, Beermageddon. And I hope to see a lot of new faces there next year. And if you're in a band, I suggest contacting the man down below there. Until next time for another festival edition, I have been Jake of Jake's Metal Chat. Thank you very much for all the support that you have given me since I started doing these chats. And if you enjoy what I do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click that notification bell for more videos just like this. CD collections, tape collections, vinyl collections, more chats with bands and YouTubers will be coming in the future. So thank you very much. Keep the banner of metal held high, and I will see you all next time in the next upcoming video.